The message came from the stars on a Tuesday morning. It appeared on every screen, every device, every communication network across Earth at the same time. The alien words translated themselves into perfect English, Chinese, Spanish, and every other human language. People of Earth, the message began. We are the Galactic Council. We represent 12 species across this galaxy. Your world has resources we need. Your species will serve us now. You have 30 days to surrender. Send your fleet to the Proxima. System, we will discuss terms. The message ended with coordinates in space and a warning. If you do not come, we will take your world by force. Choose wisely. Captain Jake Morrison stood in the Pentagon briefing room, watching world leaders argue on the big screen. Presidents, prime ministers, and generals from every major nation filled the video conference. Their voices rose and fell as they debated. What to do? We need to build more ships, said the Russian president. 30 days is not enough time. Our current fleet has maybe 200 vessels, replied the American president. These aliens probably have thousands. We should try to negotiate, suggested the Chinese premier. Maybe we can reach a peaceful solution. Jake listened to the debate, but said nothing. He was not a politician. He was a soldier. More importantly, he was the captain of humanity's newest and most advanced ship, the U.E.'s Leviathan. Dr. Lisa Grant sat beside him, taking notes on her tablet. She was the smartest person Jake had ever met. Her work in physics had made the Leviathan possible. Without her discoveries, humanity would have no hope against this alien threat. What do you think, Lisa? Jake asked quietly. Lisa looked up from her notes. I think they expect us to respond like every other species they have conquered. Send a big fleet, show our strength, try to intimidate them. And that would be a mistake? It would be exactly what they want us to do. They have been doing this for centuries, Jake. They know how to fight large fleets. They know how to win those battles. Commander Rick Torres leaned forward from his seat behind them. So what do we do? Just surrender? No, Lisa said. We do something they do not expect. We send one ship. Rick laughed. One ship? Against their entire fleet. That is suicide. Not if it is the right ship, Lisa replied. On the screen, the world leaders were still arguing. The German chancellor was explaining why Europe could not build enough ships in time. The Japanese prime minister was discussing their manufacturing capabilities. Everyone seemed to think the same way. More ships meant better chances. Jake had been thinking differently. For months, he had been studying the Leviathan's capabilities. The ship was unlike anything humans had ever built before. It was not just a warship. It was something much more. Dr. Grant is right, Jake said, speaking up for the first time. We should send one ship, the Leviathan. The room fell quiet. Even the voices from the video conference seemed to pause. Captain Morrison, said the American president. Are you suggesting we send one ship against an entire alien armada? Yes, sir, I am. That seems like a very dangerous gamble. With respect, sir, sending a traditional fleet would be an even bigger gamble. We would be fighting their kind of war. We would lose. The British Prime Minister spoke up. What makes you think one ship can succeed where a fleet would fail? Jake looked at Lisa. She nodded. Because the Leviathan is not just one ship, Jake said. It is something the aliens have never seen before. Something they will not understand until it is too late. Over the next hour, Jake and Lisa explained their plan to the world leaders. They could not share all the details over an open channel, but they shared enough. The Leviathan carried technology that no other human ship possessed. Technology that could change the balance of power in space. That the debate continued for another 2 hours. Some leaders wanted to try building a fleet anyway. Others wanted to attempt diplomacy first. A few even suggested surrender, might be the wisest. Optioned out in the end, democracy won. The vote was close, but the majority agreed to trust Jake and his ship. Humanity would send one vessel to meet the alien fleet. As the conference ended, Jake felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. The entire human race was counting on him and his crew. If they failed, Earth would fall to alien conquest. Lisa gathered her notes and stood up. We should prepare the ship. The journey to Proxima will take 3 weeks at maximum speed. Are you sure about this, Lisa? Jake asked. Really sure? She smiled. I have never been more sure of anything in my life. The aliens think they know what humans are capable of. They are about to learn they were wrong. Rick Torres shook his head. I still think we are crazy. One ship against hundreds, maybe thousands of alien vessels. Rick, Jake said, what did they teach us in the academy about unconventional warfare? That sometimes the best strategy is to do something the enemy never expects. Exactly. They expect us to send a fleet. They expect us to fight like every other species they have conquered. Instead, we are going to show them something completely different. The 3 officers left the briefing room and headed for the transport that would take them to the Leviathan. The ship was docked at the secret facility in Nevada, hidden from spy satellites and alien sensors. As they walked, Jake thought about the message from the aliens. They had been so confident, so sure of their victory. They had given humanity 30 days because they thought humans would need that time to gather their forces. They had no idea that humanity's greatest weapon was not a fleet of ships. It was one ship that could do the work of 1,000. The transport lifted off, carrying them toward their destiny. In 3 weeks, they would face the alien fleet. The aliens were expecting humans to beg for mercy or fight a hopeless battle. Instead, they were going to get a surprise they would never forget. Jake looked out the window at the earth below. Cities sparkled in the afternoon sun. Somewhere down there, families were having dinner, children were playing, people were living their lives. All of them counting on one ship to save them. The Leviathan would not let them down. The alien fleet waited in the darkness of space near Proxima Centauri. 547 warships formed a massive wall of metal and death. Each ship was larger than anything humans had ever built. Each carried weapons that could destroy cities. Admiral Vex Thrawn stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Crimson Destroyer. His 4 arms were folded behind his back as he stared at the empty space where the human fleet should appear. His red eyes scanned the sensor displays, looking for any sign of the enemy. Admiral, said his communications officer, we have been waiting for 6 hours. The humans said they would arrive today. They will come, Vex Thrawn replied. They are probably trying to gather courage for what they know will be their final battle. The Zephyrian Admiral had fought 17 species across the galaxy. Each time, the pattern was the same. The Council would demand surrender. The species would refuse. A great battle would follow. The aliens would lose, and their worlds would join the Council's empire. Humans would be no different. Contact from the scout ships, reported the tactical officer. They detect something approaching from the direction of Earth. Finally, Vex Thrawn said. How many ships? There was a pause. Sir, the scouts report only 1 vessel. 1 vessel? Vex Thrawn's voice rose. Are you certain? Yes, sir. 1 ship, approaching at standard speed. The Admiral's 4 arms spread wide in confusion. This makes no sense. No species has ever sent just 1 ship to face the Council fleet. On the human vessel, Captain Jake Morrison watched the alien fleet appear on his main screen. The ships were arranged in perfect formation, creating a barrier across space. Each vessel bristled with weapons and armor. Impressive, said Commander Rick Torres. I count over 500 ships. 547, corrected Dr. Lisa Grant, reading from her sensor display. Each one is about twice the size of our old battleships. And they are all pointing their weapons at us, added Lieutenant Ben Parker from the tactical station. Jake studied the alien formation. It was designed to intimidate and overwhelm. Any normal fleet would see this display and either run or surrender immediately. Open communications, Jake ordered. Sir, we are receiving multiple scan attempts, reported tech specialist Amy Chun. The aliens are trying to analyze our ship. Let them scan, Jake said. They will not learn anything useful. Not yet. The main screen flickered, and Admiral Vexthron's face appeared. The alien was tall and thin, with dark red skin and forearms. His eyes were completely black, and his mouth was filled with sharp teeth. Human Captain, Vexthron said. I am Admiral Vexthron of the Galactic Council. You command the human fleet? I am Captain Jake Morrison. I command this vessel. This vessel? Where is the rest of your fleet? This is our response to your ultimatum. The alien admiral stared at Jake for a long moment. You sent one ship to face the entire council fleet? Are all humans insane? We are not insane, Admiral. We are practical. Practical? You face certain death. How is this practical? Jake smiled. That remains to be seen. On the Crimson Destroyer, Vexthron turned to his officers. What do our sensors tell us about the human ship? It appears to be a medium-sized vessel, reported the sensor operator, a six-legged creature named Nick Stahl, about 800 meters long. Standard armor and weapons for a human ship. How many crew? Approximately 200 beings. Vexthron looked back at the screen where Jake waited patiently. Human Captain, are you prepared to surrender now? Or do you wish to die pointlessly? Neither, Jake replied. We are here to discuss terms. Terms? You are in no position to discuss terms. You have one ship. We have 547. Numbers are not always the most important factor in war, Admiral. They are the only factor that matters here. Dr. Lisa Grant leaned forward and whispered to Jake. The aliens are increasing their scan intensity. They are trying to penetrate our outer hull. Jake nodded. Admiral, since we are here to talk, perhaps we should begin. What exactly does the Council want from Earth? Your world has rare metals we need. Your people will mine these metals for us. In return, we will allow your species to continue existing. That seems like a poor deal for humanity. It is the only deal you will receive. Behind Vexthron, another alien officer approached. This one was shorter and covered in gray fur. Admiral, our deep scans are detecting unusual energy patterns in the human ship. What kind of patterns? Unknown, sir. The energy readings do not match any known propulsion or weapon systems. Vexthron frowned. Continue scanning. I want to know everything about this vessel. On the Leviathan, Amy Chun monitored the alien scan attempts. Captain, they are getting more aggressive with their sensors. Should I activate our countermeasures? Not yet, Jake said. Let them look. They will not understand what they are seeing. The communication channel was still open. Vexthron could hear the human conversation, but the words meant nothing to him. What were countermeasures? What were the humans hiding? Human Captain, Vexthron said, you seem very calm for someone who is about to die. I am calm because I know something you do not know. And what is that? That this meeting will not end the way you expect. On the tactical display, Lieutenant Ben Parker watched the alien ships adjust their positions. They are surrounding us, Captain, forming a sphere with us at the center. Standard intimidation tactic, Rick Torres observed. They want us to feel trapped. We are trapped, Ben replied. 500 ships versus 1. Those are not good odds. Depends on the one ship, Lisa said quietly. Jake turned to look at her. How much longer do we need? Another hour for full preparation. 2 hours for complete deployment. We may not have 2 hours. Then we will make do with what we have. Admiral Vex Thrawn was growing impatient. He had offered terms to the humans, and they had not accepted. This was unusual. Most species either surrendered immediately or attacked in desperation. Human Captain, this is your final warning. Surrender now, or we will destroy your ship. Admiral, before you make any decisions you might regret, I suggest you take another look at your sensor readings. Vex Thrawn gestured to Nixtal. Report. Sir, the energy patterns in the human ship are increasing. We are detecting massive power buildups in sections we cannot identify. Power buildups for what? Unknown, sir. The energy signatures are unlike anything in our databases. For the first time since the conversation began, Vex Thrawn felt a small touch of uncertainty. No species had ever been this calm when facing the Council fleet. No captain had ever seemed so confident while outnumbered 500 to 1. Admiral, Jake said, you have been conquering species for centuries. You have a system that works. You show up with overwhelming force. You demand surrender. The enemy either gives up or fights a hopeless battle. Yes, and it has never failed. That is about to change. How can you be so certain? Jake smiled again. Because you have never fought humans before, and you have never seen a ship like the Leviathan. The screen went dark as Jake cut the communication. In the silence that followed, the only sound was the hum of the ship's engines and the beeping of sensor displays. All stations, prepare for deployment, Jake announced over the ship's intercom. This is not a drill. We are about to show the galaxy what humanity is capable of. Admiral Vex Thrawn stared at the dark screen. Something was wrong. The human captain had been too confident, too calm. No species behaved this way when facing certain death. All ships, prepare for battle, he ordered. Target the human vessel. We will end this quickly. But even as he gave the order, Vex Thrawn could not shake the feeling that he was missing something important. Something that would change everything. The first sign that something was wrong came from the outer ring of alien ships. Their sensors began screaming warnings as the human vessel started to change. Admiral! Nixtal's voice cracked with panic. The human ship is expanding. Admiral! Vex Thrawn spun around to face the sensor display. What he saw made no sense. The human vessel, which had been 800 meters long just moments before, was now stretching outward in all directions. That is impossible, he whispered Dot on me. Leviathan. Captain Jake Morrison stood calmly on his bridge as the ship transformed around him. The walls hummed with power as hidden systems came online. Through the viewports, he could see the alien fleet scrambling to understand what was happening. Deployment at 20%, reported engineer Tom Brady from his station. All compression. Systems functioning normally. Automated construction systems are online, added Dr. Maya Patel. Beginning fabrication sequence. Jake nodded. Proceed with the demonstration, Dr. Grant. Lisa Grant's fingers flew across her control panel. Initiating Phase 1 expansion. All crew, prepare for internal gravity adjustments. The Leviathan groaned. As sections of the ship that had been compressed into impossibly small spaces began to unfold, the vessel's true length revealed itself as compartments expanded, weapon systems deployed, and manufacturing bays opened to space. Admiral Vex Thrawn watched in horror as the human ship grew from 800 meters to 2,000 meters. Then 3,000. The expansion did not stop. How is this possible? He demanded. Sir, Nixtal reported, we are detecting massive space-time distortions around the human vessel. They appear to be using some form of compressed matter technology. Compressed. Matter is theoretical. No species has ever successfully built such a system. The humans have, sir. The Leviathan reached its full expanded size of 12,000 meters. It was now larger than Vex Thrawn's flagship, and still growing as additional sections deployed. But the real surprise was yet to come. Beginning drone deployment. Maya announced. Thousands of small objects began streaming from the Leviathan's manufacturing bays. To the aliens, they looked like missiles or fighters. In reality, they were construction drones, each carrying compressed matter storage units. "They are launching an attack," shouted the tactical officer on the Crimson destroyer. "All ships defensive." "Positions," Vextron ordered. "Prepare to return fire." But the small objects did not attack. Instead, they spread out in a wide pattern around the human ship and began to work. The aliens watched in amazement as the drones started assembling. "Structures in space. What are they doing?" Vextron asked. "Sir, the drones appear to be constructing additional vessels," Nixtal reported. "They are building ships out of nothing." "Out of nothing?" "The compressed matter technology, sir. They are taking raw materials stored in impossible small spaces and using them to build full-sized warships." Jake watched the construction process with satisfaction. The first escort vessel was already taking shape as hundreds of drones worked together. Within minutes, it would be complete and ready for operation. "How long until we have a full squadron?" he asked. 15 minutes for the first squadron," Tom Brady replied. 1 hour for a full fleet. "Admiral Vextron is requesting communication," reported Amy Chun. "Put him through." The alien admiral's face appeared on the screen. His black eyes were wide with shock and fear. "Human captain, what is this? What are you doing?" "We are giving you a demonstration, Admiral. You wanted to see what humanity is capable of. This is just the beginning. This technology is impossible. No species has ever developed compressed matter systems. No species except humans, Jake. Corrected. We tend to think differently than other races. You are building ships from nothing. This violates the laws of physics." Dr. Lisa Grant stepped forward. "Actually, Admiral, it follows the laws of physics perfectly. We are simply using those laws in ways your species never imagined." As she spoke, the first escort vessel completed construction and came online. Its engines lit up, and it moved to take position beside the Leviathan. The alien fleet watched in stunned silence as a second ship began to take shape. "This is some kind of trick," Vextron said. "An illusion. I assure you, Admiral, this is very real. Our ships are equipped with matter compression technology, automated manufacturing systems, and construction drones. We can build a fleet anywhere, anytime. Even if this is real, you are still outnumbered. 2 ships against 500. Check your sensors again, Admiral." Vextran turned to his sensor operator. "Report. Sir, the humans now have 7 ships. The construction rate is accelerating. 7 ships are still not enough to threaten. U.S. Sir, there is something else. The human vessels are not just building ships. They are constructing weapon platforms, defense stations, and what appears to be a shipyard complex." The Admiral looked back at the screen. "What do you want, human?" "We want you to understand that humanity is not like the other species you have conquered. We do not fight the way you expect. We do not think the way you expect. You think this display will save your world? I think this display will save your fleet. What do you mean?" Jake gestured to the expanding construction zone around the Leviathan. "You came here expecting to face a desperate species with primitive technology. Instead, you have discovered that humans possess capabilities far beyond anything in your empire. So now you have a choice. You can continue to threaten Earth and discover just how advanced our technology really is. Or you can reconsider your position and discuss more reasonable terms." Admiral Vextran was no fool. He had risen to his position by understanding when to fight and when to retreat. The human technology was clearly superior to anything the Council possessed, but he also had his orders. "The Council will not accept defeat from a single species," he said. "Then perhaps the Council needs to learn about consequences. Are you threatening us? I am educating you. The construction around the Leviathan continued at an incredible pace. The alien fleet watched as more ships took shape, as weapon platforms deployed, as the humans built a small military base in the middle of space. General Karnev, the admiral's military advisor, approached the command chair. Sir, we need to report this to the Council immediately. This technology changes everything. How many ships do they have now? Vexthran asked. 23 and growing. But sir, it is not just the ships. They are building infrastructure, manufacturing facilities, defense networks. It is like they are preparing for a long campaign. In 1 hour, they have built 23 ships? Yes, sir. And the construction rate is still increasing. Jake could see the uncertainty in the alien admiral's eyes. The demonstration was working exactly as planned. The aliens were beginning to understand that humanity was not like their previous conquests. Admiral, Jake said, I want you to understand something. The Leviathan is not our most advanced ship. It is our prototype, a test platform for new technologies. What are you saying? I am saying that while you have been watching us build a fleet here, Earth has been building dozens of ships, like the Leviathan, each one capable of constructing its own fleet, each one carrying technologies you have never seen. The color drained from Vexthran's face. You are bluffing. Am I? Check your long-range sensors. Look toward Earth. The Admiral gestured frantically to his sensor operator. Scan toward the human homeworld. Maximum range. After a few minutes, Nixtal looked up from his station. Sir, we are detecting massive energy signatures throughout the human solar system. It appears they have been building a fleet of vessels, similar to this one. How many? At least 30, sir. Possibly more, Jake smiled. Each one of those ships can do what you have seen here today. Each one can build a fleet from nothing. Each one carries weapons that can destroy planets. Impossible. Would you like us to demonstrate our planet-killing capabilities, Admiral? There is an asteroid nearby that we could use for target practice. Vexthran's forearms trembled. What do you want? I want you to contact the Galactic Council. Tell them that humanity rejects their ultimatum. Tell them that Earth is under the protection of technologies they cannot match. And if they refuse to accept this, then they will discover that humans can be very creative when it comes to warfare. The alien admiral stared at the growing human fleet. In 2 hours, one ship had become 50. Construction drones continued to work, building more vessels, more weapons, more defenses. For the first time in his long military career, Vexthran faced an enemy he could not defeat. An enemy with technology so advanced that his entire fleet was obsolete. I will contact the Council, he said quietly. Good choice, Admiral. We will wait. The Galactic Council's response came 6 hours later. It was not what Admiral Vexthran had hoped to hear. Attack immediately, ordered Commander Supreme Yul Matrix, the Council's highest military leader. Use all available firepower. Destroy the human fleet before they can build more ships. Sir, with respect, their technology is far superior to ours. A direct attack would be suicide. Are you a coward, Admiral? 500 ships cannot defeat 50? It is not about numbers, Commander. Their defensive systems are unlike anything we have encountered. Their weapons are more advanced than ours, and they continue to build more ships every hour. Then destroy them before they can finish building. Admiral Vexthran looked around his bridge at the worried faces of his officers. None of them wanted to fight this battle. But orders were orders. Understood, Commander. We will attack in 1 hour. See that you do. The Council will not accept defeat from a primitive species. The communication ended, leaving the bridge in silence. Vexthran knew he was about to lead his fleet into disaster, but he had no choice. On the Leviathan, Captain. Jake Morrison received the news from his intelligence officer. Sir, we have intercepted communications from the alien fleet. They are preparing to attack. How long do we have? Approximately 1 hour, sir. Jake nodded. Dr. Grant, what is our current status? We now have 87 ships operational, with 15 more under construction. All defensive systems are online. The orbital fortress is 60% complete. Will that be enough? More than enough, Captain. We could defend against their attack with just 20 ships. Good, but I want to send a message they will never forget. Prepare the planet killer demonstration. Dr. Carol Mills, the ship's xenobiologist, looked up from her station. Sir, are you sure that is wise? Such a display might provoke them further. Doctor, Mills, they are already attacking. The time for gentle persuasion has passed. Jake activated the ship's intercom. All hands, prepare for combat. This is not a drill. We are about to face the full might of the Galactic Council fleet. Throughout the human fleet, crews prepared for battle. Weapon systems charged, shields activated, and fighters launched from carrier bays. The construction drones continued their work, building more ships even as the battle approached. Admiral Vextron stood on his bridge, watching the human fleet through the main view screen. What had started as one ship was now over 100 vessels, with more appearing every few minutes. All ships, attack formation, he ordered. We will overwhelm them with concentrated firepower. The alien fleet moved forward in perfect formation. 547 warships against 103 human vessels. By traditional military thinking, the aliens should have had the advantage, but nothing about this battle was traditional. Enemy fleet approaching, reported Lieutenant Ben Parker. They will be in weapons range in 5 minutes. All ships defensive. Positions, Jake ordered. Do not fire until fired upon. Chief Petty Officer Dan White monitored the weapon systems. Sir, all guns are charged and ready. Planet killer device is prepared for demonstration. Target the large asteroid at coordinates 7-7-Mark-4. Targeting asteroid, sir. The alien fleet opened fire first. Thousands of energy beams and projectiles streaked across space toward the human ships. The attack was coordinated and overwhelming, designed to destroy the entire human fleet in one massive barrage dot. It failed completely. The human ships were protected by shield, technology that the aliens had never seen before. The energy beams struck the shields and simply disappeared, absorbed and redirected harmlessly into space. The projectiles were intercepted by point defense systems that reacted faster than thought. Impossible, whispered Admiral Vextran. No. Shields can stop that much firepower. Sir, our weapons are having no effect on the human ships, reported his tactical officer. Their defensive systems are absorbing everything we throw at them. Continue firing. Use everything we have. For 10 minutes, the alien fleet poured every weapon they possessed into the human formation. Energy cannons, missile batteries, plasma torpedoes, and exotic weapons that could crack planets. None of it worked. The human ships sat motionless in space, their shields flickering occasionally as they absorbed the massive attack. Not one human vessel was even scratched. Enough, Jake said quietly. Time for our demonstration. The Leviathan's main weapon powered up. It was unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. Where their weapons fired energy or projectiles, this device manipulated matter itself at the atomic level. Firing planet killer, Dan White announced. A beam of pure destruction lanced out from the Leviathan toward the targeted asteroid. The rock, which was 15 kilometers across and solid iron, simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, the next moment it was gone, reduced to its component atoms and scattered across space. The alien fleet stopped firing. Every ship Every crew member, every officer stared at the empty space where the asteroid had been. "They destroyed it completely," whispered Nixtel. "Not even debris remains." Admiral Vexthren felt fear, unlike anything he had ever experienced. How is this possible? On the Leviathan, Jake opened communications to the alien fleet. "Admiral, you have now seen what happens when you attack human vessels. Your weapons cannot harm us. Our weapons can destroy anything we choose to target." "What do you want?" Vexthren's voice was barely a whisper. "I want you to understand that this war is over before it began. Your fleet is obsolete. Your weapons are useless. Your tactics are pointless. The Council will send more ships. Let them come. We will be ready." As if to prove his point, the construction drones finished another batch of ships. The human fleet now numbered 130 vessels, with more being built every minute. "Admiral," Jake continued, "you have two choices. You can continue this hopeless attack and watch your entire fleet be destroyed. Or you can accept that humanity is not like the other species you have conquered. What are you proposing?" "A new arrangement. Earth will not be conquered. Humanity will not serve the Council. Instead, we offer a different kind of relationship." "What kind of relationship?" "We will share some of our defensive technology with species that agree to peaceful coexistence. We will protect worlds that cannot protect themselves. We will maintain peace in this galaxy. You expect us to accept humans as our protectors? I expect you to accept humans as your equals, or your superiors, if you prefer." The AI system Atlas, which had been monitoring the battle, spoke through the ship's intercom. "Captain, I am detecting energy buildups in several alien vessels. They appear to be preparing to self-destruct." Jake frowned. "Why would they do that?" "It appears to be a final desperate tactic. They believe that if they cannot defeat us, they will at least damage us with their deaths. Stop them." "Already working on it, sir." Beams of energy reached out from the human ships, not to destroy the alien vessels, but to disable their self-destruct systems. The aliens found their most desperate weapon removed from their control. "Your ships are now under our protection," Jake announced. "We will not allow you to destroy yourselves or your crews." Admiral Vexthron slumped in his command chair. "What happens now?" "Now you return to the Council. You tell them what you have seen here. You explain that humanity possesses technology centuries beyond anything they have encountered. You make it clear that Earth is not to be threatened again. And if they refuse to listen, then they will discover that humans can be very creative when it comes to defending themselves and their friends." The alien admiral looked at his officers. They all wore expressions of defeat and awe. The mighty Galactic Council fleet had been rendered powerless by a single human ship and its offspring. "We will carry your message," Vexthran said finally. "Good. And Admiral, take some time to think about what you have seen here. The galaxy is changing. The old ways of conquest and domination are ending. A new age is beginning." "What kind of age?" "An age where strength is used to protect, not to conquer. An age where advanced species help primitive ones, rather than enslaving them. An age where peace is maintained through superior technology, not superior violence." Jake cut the communication and turned to his crew. "Begin powering down weapons. Maintain defensive shields. Continue construction of new vessels." "Sir?" asked Rick Torres. "Do you think they will actually carry our message to the Council?" "They will carry it," Jake replied. "They have no choice. But whether the Council listens is another matter entirely. And if they don't listen?" Jake smiled. "Then they will discover that the Leviathan was just the beginning. Earth has been preparing for this day for years. We have ships, weapons, and technologies that will make today's demonstration look like a children's toy." The human fleet continued to grow as the alien fleet prepared to depart. In one day, humanity had gone from being threatened with conquest to being the Ya.